As if Greg over here wasn't already nervous enough about, dude, that chair is crazy creaky, but as if Greg wasn't already nervous enough about flying. Now we see that a plane in India has crashed, taking the lives of almost every single person on that flight, except for one man, from what I know. There's new LA riots. You know, the thing is, the LA riots, you think about them and you think a certain group, but now it's Mexicans. Okay, Mexicans are upset about Trump and his feelings toward Mexicans. They don't like it. They don't want to see it. They say, "Órale, güey, we no like," okay? And then they loot stores, followed by the original people from the original LA riots. I mean, not those specific people. I just mean that group kind of comes with them for the looting. But anyway, also, these 304s is out of pocket. They're nuts. Literally. Widowy. All this and more on the podcast.
The podcast ever.
Yeah, the podcast ever. What's up, Greg? How you doing? You know what? First, before I even ask you that, well, I guess before you even answer that, because I already asked you, but before you even answer that, guys, we weren't here last week. This is the first time we've gone a full week without a show. I was expecting, and so was Greg at one point when we thought we could maybe have some sort of similarities in schedule in between that Thursday and this one, some sort of day where we could come back to you guys and bless you with the 79th episode of the podcast ever. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. You know, we're all right. I know the Oracle was asking about that, but we're all right. I mean, you know, physically, even that may be a stretch, but we are here, okay? We are here, right, Greg? He's apparently not here, folks. I don't know. Even that was a stretch.
Yes, we're good.
Oh. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Jesus, I don't know why I keep muting myself, but I'm trying to find a new profile photo to use for this here.
You're pretty quiet right now.
Trying to find a new profile picture to use for this here episode.
Now, while you do that, you can explain how you've been, sir. How your week has been, sir.
It's been all right, I guess. Pretty rainy recently. I like that.
It has been pretty rainy. You still need to get closer to the mic, but yes, it has been pretty rainy, actually. It's kind of changed the vibe. The vibe has shifted, you know, but it was also hot as balls before that. I don't know how hot balls are. And actually, why did they say hot as balls? Is it because your balls get hot when it gets hot outside? But the balls, they rest at a lower point than the body so that they can be a lower temperature. So when you're saying hot as balls, you're not actually really saying body temperature. You're actually saying below body temperature. So what are we saying here? I mean, I know obviously we still get hot in a room or an environment that is our body temperature. That would be, 98.6 degrees for, people that are okay, unless you're freezing because you're hypothyroid. But, the thing is, for people that are normal, far and few between these days, actually, for it being the word normal. But for the people that are normal, that's pretty uncomfortable.
It is.
How's my color looking? I look very yellow here.
You look very red. I mean, I pink, purple, blue, turquoise.
It's the month in which
green.
There are a lot of colors, but I'm not going to engage with that today. I'm trying to make myself look as normal as possible.
That's real.
So no colors right now, okay? We're getting rid of those colors for today. Usually I'm red, I'm blue, whatever. No. Right now, no. It's June. It can't be. It can't be. I'm not letting this happen. I'm not letting this slide on Twitter. I mean, I know there are still people talking about this month, but mainly I'm seeing more trolls than anything, which is it's something. I don't know if you've been seeing what Stone Toss is doing, but he's making some pretty how do I put this? Inflammatory, I should say. Yeah, he's making comics that are basically very good bait. If that's what your goal is, it's very good for bait. And he is to market his plushies. So I mean, there's that too. It's a lot of ones being thrown around.
41s.
So why did what percent? But why'd you throw on that Pokeball avatar, Mr. Greg?
First of all, it seems like there's a delay.
Get closer.
Bear with me here.
Get closer.
But I recently enjoyed a Pokeball for lunch the other day. Yesterday, in fact. Then it was mid. But it reminded me of what they could have been.
What kind of fish was it?
So now I'm a Pokeball. I use tuna. Tuna and shrimp.
That is exactly what I would do.
Exactly. Tuna, shrimp, white rice, of course. Mango, cucumber, carrots, raw, of course. Scallions, and I use eel sauce and some other sweet sauce.
But no radishes. I see there are radishes on that picture you chose.
Yeah, they didn't have a radish option. I would have if they were there. Oh, and tamago. I added tamago to that for more protein.
I don't know what that is.
Tamago is like Jap omelet.
Is that shit they put in a pan and they kind of like fold it into this circle that's back open? Or
no, that's
like
okay. That
opening thing, like the omelet.
Tamago is like it's like it is like a rolled up egg, but it's like actually just like rolled up. It's not like partially.
They come with egg roll. They come with egg roll.
It do. It really do. There's no extra charge.
Ah. You're telling me an egg rolled this poke? Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about. I want you to go over your reason behind being averse.
Oh. Hold on.
What was that?
Hold on.
You just went, oh.
I'm eating a popsicle.
Oh.
I'm eating a popsicle and like a little bit dropped. But anyway.
Popsicle. I got lollipops. Charms.
I don't, unfortunately. But the reason I'm adverse to that is because there's been a sharp increase in kaboomies, one could say.
Kabooms. Boom!
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, fair enough. So, I mean, is that the whole line of thought there on that? I mean, I think that's pretty sufficient if I do say so.
Pretty much. I mean, it's not like I have anything against flying as a concept, like in general. It's just, it does not seem like it's the right time to be doing that right now.
What would you say to the viewers at home who are thinking of going out for a flight, right now?
Check who the pilot is.
See what kind of hire it was. Did this pilot have you seen okay, so this guy Hermes on Instagram, I mean, I know you've seen him, but maybe the viewers haven't, but he asked people some interesting questions. But one of the ones he asked that I can actually say on here was, he's like, would you rather have like as your pilot for a plane, would you rather have a drunk I think it was like a DEI hire or a woman pilot? What's your answer there, Mr. Greg?
Well, if he's drunk, I can assume that he's experienced enough to trust himself to be drunk while flying the plane.
I don't think we know that for sure in the hypothetical. This could be a guy who has recently went through a traumatic event in his life, drinking the pain away. And so he's still just being a pilot for some reason.
No, I think you wouldn't do that if you were in that situation. You'd only do that if you already knew what you're doing.
Hey, man. Jane's dad was a white guy.
Who?
Jane's dad. The whole plane crash thing in Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he wasn't drunk.
Yeah.
That was the issue.
Well, but see, he was under distress. So you're saying if he actually had a few drinks, you know, he could have probably avoided that, probably just settled the nerves a bit before giving those instructions. I mean,
Correct.
actually, that's a pretty solid case right there alone.
Yeah. He just needed to chill out.
I'm actually reasoning myself into saying, yeah, I guess the drunk guy. I mean, I suppose. I mean, because the DEI hire, I mean, that should already tell us that there are lack of qualifications. You know, we don't have to bring up anything beyond that. Honestly, we can just go based on that, you know, it's a lack of actual merit. I mean, if we're just talking about that there. So, I mean, that's literally what DEI is. I mean, unless you just making other assumptions for some reason on what DEI could be. I don't know. But, and then the other, oh, there's Greg gone, folks. Greg is, oh, he came back in. I don't know what happened there. Maybe Greg had to,
yeah, I tried.
Refresh or something. I don't know.
Help the
Dude, you gotta get closer to the mic, bro.
Yeah, I tried refreshing to see if it would help with the delay.
Did it?
It seems like it.
Okay, hold on. I am going to unload. Hold on. I'm going to unload this new article on us. I'm going to drop this on us. Oh. Really? Really, bruh? I had this article pulled up just fine. I guess because I already pulled up an article before. Oh my God. They want me to pay now? I'm not going to do that. Oh, I can do the Clearly Reader thing though. Hold on. Let me read this clearly. You know what I mean? I need to clarify. Okay, so what we got here. Over 260 dead after Air India crash, official says, with one survivor. So, I mean, this is a meta bad India. I don't know what I have to do with it, but I mean, come on. They didn't have to bring me into this. Rescuers were combing and the smoldering wreckage of an Air India passenger jet that crashed moments after takeoff Thursday in the western India city of Ahmedabad, killing all but one of the 242 people aboard and dozens of others on the ground. So yeah, I mean, this is a Boeing plane. I don't know. Mr. Greg, do you have thoughts specifically on Boeing planes, or do you want to keep your life intact? Oh, there you are. How bad's the delay?
Well, now it was just not letting me mute and unmute without a delay.
Oh.
That's kind of pissing me off.
TSPMO.
In regard to Boeing, the one mutual acquaintance we have who is known to be knowledgeable on things most people wouldn't be knowledgeable about has said that Boeing is not a good company because they cut corners on their plane builds.
Okay, so Boeing cuts corners on plane bills. You said bills or builds?
Builds, like they'll use like aluminum like that over like a more sturdy metal, because it's not just because it's cheaper, but also because it has like I think it's like it eases the gas load or something like that. Something like that.
Bro.
But result they're less reliable apparently.
You said you just have to hold the mic, bro. Like I have to remind you every time you talk.
Dude, I'm literally on top of it.
Well, see, now I can hear you fine. So I don't know. It's like whatever you do when you just switch back onto it. Whenever I remind you, then you do something else.
I don't know, man. I'm trying my best over here. I'm Pokey Greg.
Okay. Well, but why is it working right now once I alert you about it?
I could not tell you why.
But it only starts at that point. I feel like you're moving even closer when I tell you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bro, you're just gaslighting me now.
If I were gaslighting you, would it sound consistent like this every time I speak?
Like no change in tone either?
Correct.
Oh, I mean, it could be. I don't know. Maybe somebody else would say no. But I'm already suspicious of you.
That's weird, dude. You should stop being sus.
No, you're the one that's being sus, Greg.
Well, no, you are, because you just said
I don't know, man. You're being kind of sus right now. Okay. So here's the latest. Here's the latest that we're talking about. So yeah, like one dude survived from this, by the way. A senior police official in Ahmedabad, Vishaka Dabral. I'm gonna have a hard time with this. Said early on Friday that 269 bodies. Yeah. Said early on Friday that Friday. Oh yeah, I guess it's Friday over there. Whoops. I mean, I was like, what? Yeah. Oh my God, they're in the future, dude. We should warn them. 269 bodies had been taken to the main hospital there. So, oh no, you know what? We couldn't warn them because they're in the future. We're not. That's where I messed up right there. You see, they could have warned us if it happened on Thursday, because they're on Friday. But anyway,
true.
Said early on Friday that 269 bodies had been taken to the main hospital there so far. Mr. Dabral said that the exact toll would emerge only after DNA testing. What? Oh, wow. That's how bad it was? Like, you can't even tell how many people. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. The plane crashed into a medical college about...
burn through human bodies.
Yeah, but not through passports.
No, evidently not.
Passport coming soon. 2 weeks. It's coming in 2 weeks, guys. Come on.
That was a crazy segue.
The craziest plug ever. But I outdid Greg, not you, Greg, but Coach Greg on his testosterone plugs. That's I'm one-upping, bro. But yeah, no, I mean, for those who don't know, because I mean, all I've been coming soon, dropping in 2 weeks. Okay. We got a video. Okay. It's a video, perhaps with some sort of, audio quality to it that involved mixing and mastering. And it's going to be pretty epic. The visuals are goated. The audio's goated. It's going to be an experience. Okay. Tune in 2 weeks. I will preview it on this show in 2 weeks. And if we're doing the stream on Thursday, then whatever's dropping is probably going to drop at midnight officially, but I'll preview it for us on the show. Okay. But anyway, so, and you guys will get that first look because of that. So anyway, beyond the passport aspect of this, the plane crashed into a medical college about a mile southwest of the city's Sardar Vallabhbhai. Wow. Okay. Vallabhbhai.
Okay, I got this. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport.
Are you sure that's Vallabhbhai? That's like Vallabhbhai. You know, it's like
Vallabhbhai. So what happens in foreign languages, the way it's transliterated is if it's an H after a B, it's usually a V sound, if I remember correctly, or it's like slightly between a P and a V. And then if it's a D and an H, it's like, oh, you're fucked. A softer, like the beginning of the. That's what it sounds like. So it's like Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. Yeah, there you go. Sardar.
I got this. I got a new solution.
Not to be confused with Sardar.
Hold on. Okay, so what we're gonna have to stop this screen share because it's clearly so important that I do this right now. let's see. Okay. You said no audio?
Yeah, I thought you were talking. Oh, you're just going to a new tab. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm switching the tabs. I had to undo the screen share. So let's listen.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport.
Wow.
That was close enough.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport.
Wow. The international airport part is kind of crazy.
That worked way better than I thought it would.
International airport.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like somebody from like Boston or something, except for it's like, you know, I feel like if they were from Boston, they'd sound a little more natural. You know, international airport, you know.
From Boston.
Hey, Peter. Hey, Peter. Okay. So let's flip back. Let's go back. Take it back. What we do here is go back.
Not like that, but we do go back.
You know, there's a lot of crazy stuff about iDubbbz that I forgot to like kind of look into because I had seen it last week, and I have other stuff that we have to talk about here that's like relevant, but I guess we could go into that after this. I'm sure there's people that have been making videos about it because you saw like Anissa, she was like talking about being into a trainer, like one of the iDubbbz's trainers, dude, or said like he was like hot or something like that, man. I was seeing people talk about that. And like she had like all these rules for him and stuff.
But that reminds me of those two shit. How do I say this in a PC way? Those two creatures that were getting married, and then the one had a trainer somehow, and the other one got upset that it had a trainer.
Oh yeah. There's this TLC show about people with this, I forgot what the thing was called, but they have like this bone formation issue problem where they're like really tiny and they're also wheelchair bound. Like they have like baby bodies, but they're adults. And actually one of them is not even like, they're both biologically female, but one of them, I feel like we should be watching this after we talk about this here. But one of them's like biologically female, but wanting to be a man. Which is like, I don't know how you present yourself as a man and say like, oh, if he were a real man, like that individual was talking about other men, like, oh, if he's a real man, he would say this and that. It's like, yeah, I don't know how much you could be talking about what a real man is, but okay. So, I mean, we might pull that up after this, but let's talk a little bit more about this pressing matter. Okay. This is a top story right now. This is really relevant. But Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport, as night fell and smoke hung in the air.
It's Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport. There you go.
Fair enough. As night fell and smoke hung in the air, heavy machines worked to untangle charred pieces of the aircraft at the crash site, and their operators treaded carefully to avoid all-out structural collapses. Rescue personnel at the site, as well as doctors and security officials, suggested that as many as 36 people who were caught in the path of the crashing plane had been killed on the ground. You're not even safe from Boeing planes, not even flying. I mean, you are at risk. Okay. Though I don't know how India is structured as far as like proximity of airport space to, I mean, I know it was already in the air, but I don't know how it like structured in proximity of airport space to ground. So I don't know, you know, like how much of a difference there is between there and here. I know over there, they probably don't have a lot of safety measures, but I can't really speak specifically because I don't know. So Air India confirmed that only one passenger had survived the crash. His name was, well, do you want to go for the name here? The names?
Vishwas Kumar Ramesh.
A brother.
Nayan Ramesh.
Told the New York Times, you sound like Google Translate now. Nayan and Vishwas had, what does Vishwas even mean? It's interesting. That's an interesting name. Oh, I exited the reader. Yeah, that's an interesting name. Vishwas. I don't know, man. But anyway, bro is fortunate to be here still, because that was I mean, imagine being the sole survivor, man. That's crazy. But had been on vacation with another brother, Ajay, who was also on the plane. Everyone is completely devastated and just in shock, Nyan said. Did he say that one in English? Oh, was he talking to the New York Times in English? I don't know if they
Everyone
can just
is
say
completely devastated and just in shock.
Yeah, can we get a translator? It was not immediately clear what caused the plane bound for London Gatwick Airport to crash. Officials at the crash site said the aircraft most likely skidded after it came down, damaging buildings before bursting into flames. Sections of the plane, including its tail, were left jutting out of the damaged school dining hall. Wow. Video verified by the Times that was taken from the rooftop of a building about half a mile south of Ahmedabad's airport shows the jet descending steadily over a cluster of buildings before crashing. A large explosion is visible over the horizon. Prime Minister
Narendra Modi
of India said in a statement on social media that the crash was heartbreaking beyond words. I mean, the heartbreaking part was a word.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can really say beyond words.
Beyond words.
What?
If it was heartbreaking beyond words, he wouldn't say anything.
That's true. You know, people are like, there's no words that can describe this. I mean,
but that phrase in itself is a set of words that
is saying something about it
to describe it.
Yeah. There's no word to describe it. And I'm sure there is a word to describe things. Like, there's always a combination of words that can be used. I know I'm getting nitpicky here. Okay. Like, but I mean, come on. It just doesn't make much sense. It's not logical. So Mr. Oracle is back. He first of all said that statement that I'll read, but he said also good to be back. It's good to have you. But bruh, a fucking Boeing plane went down. Can I get a quick recap? So yeah, I mean, they're not really disclosing exactly what caused it. And this article was just updated before the stream. So yeah, they're, as Mr. Greg was saying, they do cut corners, Boeing, you know, and this is Boeing in India. I know they're going back to the UK, or I don't know if they were, I don't know exactly if this was I guess the flight goes both ways, right? I would think. But if it's going to the UK, right? I mean, you would think that the standards are at least higher than something within India based on what their perhaps legal system dictates, because I mean, just going based off of China and thinking India is probably no better, honestly. I mean, it's probably the same. You would expect there to be maybe within the country something like this, but for a plane that's from the West, something has to be going on.
It might be worse than China, because China's getting pretty good at like doing the bare minimum, but still kind of being something worthy of quality now, at least, depending on like what.
Well, I'm just saying, if that's how China is, imagine India, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if you do follow that, I mean, it's not good. But I mean, I'm just saying.
You're saying basically like even me saying that is understating it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so they're saying it could take months or years to determine the cause of the crash. But safety experts questioned why the plane appeared to descend so soon after it took off. That's a good question. The type of plane involved has been under scrutiny for years. And you would think that saying, hey, this one's a problem, should raise some red flags. And not only that, but, you know, somebody should take note of those flags and think, hey, how can we reduce the number of people dying when they fly? You would think that if they wanted good business, I mean, they would be doing that, right?
You would think.
How do you know which kind of plane you're going to get? Like, does it depend on the airline? Like, do the airlines use certain ones?
So I would imagine the airlines have certain contracts with certain companies. So there's that. And I do believe, I don't remember if it's on the ticket.
Dude, I was, hold on. I was like looking up, I literally typed in non-Boeing into my Google search. And the first thing that was showing up before I even finished typing Boeing was non-Boeing airlines.
Well, that's crazy. Talk about
people know
noticing the demand.
Yeah, Oracle says, "Damn, Boeing is kind of ass." Kinda, yeah, but a little more. I would know personally, but can't tell much more publicly. Wow. So, I mean, if you can, you should tell us what airlines to take. I mean, honestly, if you know about this, but let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to get to the non-Boeing airline search. Let me go back to it.
I was gonna say I do remember when I was taking flights where you could see the model of the plane, but I think that might have been like the pamphlets once you're already on the plane, where they tell you what kind of plane it is.
Okay, so JetBlue is a good one. Spirit Airlines apparently uses still primarily operate Airbus aircraft. Frontier, Avelo, and Hawaiian. So what about the ones that do use it? Allegiant Air, Sun Country Airlines, I guess they use like a mix, but who uses it? Okay. Some airlines like Southwest Airlines operate entirely with Boeing aircraft. Yeah, so Southwest is not a good option then. What about, okay, so Delta's fine and JetBlue's fine. That's pretty good. Well, hold on. While Delta does have orders for the Boeing 737 MAX, they currently operate a large fleet of Airbus craft. So they do operate with it too. Okay. So, and what about primarily? That's the part that might get me too. So which ones don't use it? Are there any that basically don't use it?
Forget it. We got all we need. We've got Spirit.
How to avoid, there's an article, how to avoid Boeing 737 planes. Wow, look, okay, hold on. Let's see the summary of this. Okay, so a number of safety incidents have led to scrutiny of Boeing. Yeah, we've known about this, and we talked about this in a different stream earlier on into the podcast. I mean, like a different episode. But Boeing received failing grades on nearly 36 aspects of production. Wow, that's assuring. That's really assuring, Boeing. Wow. That makes me really confident, and I don't know why this bald bitch is here, but that makes me really confident in flying your planes. Traveler, I fly all the time, and even I schedule myself away from a MAX. Yeah. Yeah, you should. You should, buddy. Dan. Imagine somebody gives you a complimentary flight, but it's like a Boeing. I would pay to not go onto a Boeing. I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth losing your life. It's not worth the risk. Okay, so
Yeah, on Airbuses. Now that I think about it.
Boeing employees say they were ignored, and when bringing up safety issues. Oh, sorry. Boeing employees says they were ignored. I could read that as like a plural thing because it says they. Let's see. Yeah, there's a TikTok trend with people saying if it's Boeing, I'm not going. If it ain't snowing, I'm not going. Same thing.
That's right.
So let's see.
That's
There's a ton of manufacturing issues that have piled up for Boeing over the years, including 2 devastating crashes that also involve MAX jets, one in Indonesia in 2018 and the other in Ethiopia the following year. It also seems like there's a lot of them happening, not here, but abroad. I mean, so like your big concern is taking a Boeing
abroad?
And another like, how many of these Boeings are happening, inter United States travel as far as like percentage of that versus outside of the United States? That also, because if you already have a plane that has faults, right? I mean, if you're already in a plane that has these faults and then you have the lack of regulations, and on top of that, it's not just about the regulations, but it's sort of how they treat the standards anyway in these other countries. Like they kind of just don't care. So when there's no regulations, they're not going to care, as opposed to here, even if there were like less regulations, people are still going to care about that here. In these other places, that's not the case necessarily. But, over there, they may not have the same standards overall, whether it's, legally, societally. I'm just saying that, that's probably why you see more incidents. Let's see. So the Oracle says, as long as you're not getting on new Boeing planes built, you're good. Maintenance is usually on top of things, a lot of checks and balances. So, I mean, but yeah, how do you control for that though? Because if you're using an airline that's using the Boeing, you just have to turn it away, like, or I guess like turn back and get the next flight in the airport once you see that new Boeing plane, like at the gate.
I'm going to stick with Spirit, bro.
I like JetBlue.
JetBlue was pretty good back when I was a traveling lad many moons ago. That was like the go-to my parents would use.
Delta is an option. it's not the best, but it's something.
It was usually JetBlue or Delta, from what I recall. And if you need to go international, it's like American.
I don't recall all Delta flights having the TV screens in the plane.
They probably do now, no?
I don't know, man. I've traveled in the past few years, and I'm pretty sure it's mostly been on Delta, unless it was American. It might have been American. I don't know, but I remember not even seeing
TVs.
I remember not even getting a TV before. Probably more than once. Let's see. The Oracle says, fair. I have another perspective, so it's hard to think from a consumer point of view. Yeah, fair enough. So basically, I mean, you can turn back on a flight, just like people are saying, like, oh, if there's a DEI hire or there's a woman or what, I'm going to turn away. I'm just saying that's what people are saying. I never said that myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
But,
I'm not saying I would say that. I'm just saying some people may have that inclination, and it's up to them if they decide they don't want to fly because of those reasons. I'm not saying I would sign off on those reasons, though.
Yeah, I'm just implying that. So the Oracle said, wish Boeing gave more of a shit. They got plenty of money. It hurts everyone when they can't do their part honestly. Yeah, it would seem, wow, we have all this money. Wow, we're getting all this money. This money is all good, man. But our planes don't seem the best. Maybe we should invest some of that in the... No, we need this money. I mean, it's like, and it's not even like you don't turn a profit still. It's not like you even don't get money, a good chunk of change for yourself still and all your employees, whatever, your whole company. But, man, these shareholders, they're this board, man, they need results. They need better results. They need those quarterly profits to go up. They need to see line go up on a graph, and we can't give them that unless we just make our shit out of tinfoil. Okay.
The other thing is, I wouldn't imagine that it's ultra competitive to have a contract or sell your fucking planes to companies. Like, even if you did have to increase the price or whatever, they're just not going to buy a plane.
Yeah.
What's, I don't know. It is just kind of a weird decision to make, especially with all the negative press alone that comes from just people dying over and over on these planes.
It's not even like airlines are in a state where you have all these competing airlines being built that don't have enough money to afford these planes. It's like, dude, these are all getting fucking money from the government.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the problem there, that, there's not a lot of competition in the business, so it leaves us without options. But I'm just saying they have the money because they take it from us.
This is true. This is what they do.
I mean, if they're charging us for it and the government's giving them money, you would think they have money to solve this issue, but apparently not.
Solve that.
I mean, it's not even that they don't have the money to solve it. It's just that they don't solve it. It's just these two things don't flow into each other. And I mean, that alone is a problem, of its own, where, the thing I'm talking about here with markets fixing the issue is a very real thing. It just shows the consequences of having a very restricted market. But let's see. So, okay, let's check back on the article here. Britain's reaction. So the British government said it was working with the Indian authorities to urgently... Oh, well, we have to read this as, a Brit. Urgently establish the facts. Or that's more of that's too classy. That doesn't sound like a real British guy, right?
You need to get a bit dirtier.
Exactly. Urgently establish the facts.
Well, let me give it a shot. The British government said it was working with the Indian authorities to urgently establish the facts.
That's pretty decent. And had opened a hotline for British citizens in India seeking information about the crash. Prime Minister, what? Keir Starmer. What?
Yeah.
What? I'm new to this, bro.
I'm new to this.
Hold on. Let me take a look at Keir Starmer. I need to see this. I need to see this. Bro, what are we? Who's Keir Starmer? I have not seen this individual. Let me guess. Oh, just an interesting name.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, what the hell? He was preceded by Rishi Sunak. Are we going to be surprised again? Is it just going to be a straight up white guy again, Rishi Sunak? Let's see. Dude, it's going to be even whiter. Oh no, never mind.
It'd be funny if he was like perfect Aryan or something like that.
Like he has even bluer eyes than this guy. That's just what we name our kids, bro. He's just glowing in his photo.
Yeah.
He's just holding out like a jug of raw milk to you. Okay, so Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that the scenes of the crash were devastating. Air India, India's flagship carrier, has worked to improve its safety record after several dangerous episodes. In 2020, an Air India Express flight overshot the runway in the Indian city of Kozhikode, killing 21 people. Can you say that?
No way.
Can you say this right here?
Kozhikode.
Is that how they would say the eh?
I'm not sure. I'm going off like
Kozhikode,
basically. Maybe it might be. Well, I wouldn't assume they'd have the same English rules of the E, so I would imagine you pronounce it.
Kozhikode. It would be like God. Kozhikode.
Kozhikode.
No, it wouldn't be ode. Maybe it would be odd. Kozhikode.
Kozhikode. Yeah, that sounds probably a bit more accurate. But check out that name. Check out that name right there.
Jacob Judah?
That shit's hilarious, bro.
And Sanjana Varghese. What is that? Varghese.
Varghese. It's Italian.
Okay. I didn't know.
I don't think it is, Zach.
So is Sanjana?
No, it's not. They don't even have J in
You
Italian.
Sure? No, this woman looks. Hold on. This woman looks right here Italian.
Yeah. That's an Italian.
Well, she's in fact Aryan.
Wait, who is this? A reporter?
No, this isn't even the report. I just looked up the name and saw this one.
Oh.
I looked up the name Sanjana. I just wanted to see the name.
I mean, I'm sure she eats a regular amount of garlic. Well, that's probably not even false, actually. I mean, that's probably just true.
I mean, come on, look at her. I mean, you're telling me you wouldn't?
Is this like an actual question?
Yeah. You're saying no? Come on, man. This is like this is as good as gets.
Listen, bro. I got a very sensitive nose.
Well, but man, this really is like you. I mean, come on. How much better can you get right here? Let's see. Oh my God. That's the journalist?
That makes a lot more sense.
That's crazy, bro. We got a downgrade in Sanjana's. Immediate. Look at those doodle tattoos. Oh my God.
Oh, yo.
Oh my God. Tattoo. Look at this bottle I got on my arm. Oh my God. It's so cute. Yeah, bro. This is not good. Are we sure this is Are we sure this is a female? Okay.
Nah, that's gotta be one.
This looks sus. Now this. Oh, what happened? Now this is Sanjana. This is what I like to picture Sanjana as. This is much better.
Her upcoming song. Mehendi wale aat.
The Oracle saying the woman is a wood, by the way. Greg is crazy.
Bro, I can't be having that smell in my house.
Okay, let's see what the Oracle said here. He said, fucking hell, consumers will see Boeing and then write off entirely. I don't blame them. If I didn't know anything or surface level knowledge, I would do the same shit. Fuck me. Dude, I see, like, I don't know too much about it. I mean, I know we're learning right now, but me personally, I'm not taking the
I'd
risk.
rather not do that if it's all the same with you.
I will do everything in my power to not have to assume that risk, but I can't stop thinking about Sanjana now. Honestly, it's becoming a problem that
Bro, what the fuck?
she's caught my attention this much.
Dude.
Are the Oracle will probably agree with me in the comments. Sanjana is bae. So let's see. There are new LA riots. Huh?
I thought you were joking at first. I can't believe you're actually. This is like a thing. This is crazy, dude.
Okay, we're gonna go to the riots in LA. We're gonna skip past that. Okay.
You think you know a guy?
What is this? Hold on, I'm getting a weird ad. Hold on. That ad was weird, dude. I'm getting like a 10-second morning process ad saying stronger and harder, and it's something you can find in your kitchen to give you that. That's kind of
Listen, bro. I
kind
don't
of
know if it's
interesting.
just me or also the. Okay, now it's fine. But you sounded like you're underwater for like 30 seconds. You sounded like you were underwater for a bit, but now it's fine for some reason.
Yeah, you keep cutting out after you were
Underwater.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know, man. But I was getting an ad that was kind of weird, and then it was like speeding through it. It was kind of strange. But let's see. Look, guys, LA riots. And first of all, we're not even seeing a Mexican at the beginning here. It's like straight up just like, I mean, I don't know. They're just jumping straight to it. But and this is the times of India, by the way. So just blame the Indians for that one if you feel like it's targeted, But anyway, they're clearly running a news company here. So we need to give them the time of day, seeing as they had that unfortunate tragedy. We need to give them the time of day to speak their mind on these issues. So whatever they say, I'm just going to have to listen and learn and experience it. And I'm not going to call them racist. Okay. Never again, even though I might like tomorrow, not racist, but maybe other names. Let's see. What is the Oracle saying in the comments here? The Oracle says, at Grok, make Greg have puppy eyes with glue smeared on his face, feet showing. That's crazy. Bro, first thing somebody says did you hear that?
Hungry, hungry hippo.
Hungry, hungry hippo ass nigga. Well, so I mean, I don't know. That's what the Times of India wanted to show first. I'm not me, but this man's statement in the video, not the man making it, I suppose, but whoever's filming the clip they chose is a man calling these people hungry, hungry hippo ass niggas. Okay.
I wouldn't have chosen.
Not me personally. I would have been. Maybe I would have said something else. Okay. But clearly this man has enjoyed Kanye's song, Hungry Hippo. Look at you. You gripping, Daddy? Bro. So there's this guy wearing a LeBron James fucking jersey over here. Where is it? I can't get to it. It's like bro's dressed. Oh my God, you can barely see it, but bro's dressed fresh for this event. Bro decided, let me put the drip on. Let me put that King James jersey on. Let me put that fresh hat with the sticker on it still. Let me just get that for the riot. Come on now. I got to look fresh when I taking me some Corona home. I gotta be stunning on these niggas. Oh my God, dude, look at this. So I guess, I don't know, from what I understand, Wait, hold on. Let me see if we can see it better. What's happening in this scene? So that guy is throwing a bottle at cops, and then he's like running away from it. One headphone in, by the way, and they're wired. So literally me right there in like fucking Publix or something. That's how I look. And then, bro, literally FNAF jumps him like Foxy. Like this guy subdues him. Look at that, bro. Look at that takedown. I mean, come on. We got to watch that in slow motion. I want to watch that in like 0.5 speed. Like, look at this. Look at how they are in midair for a second there. I mean, look at it. Okay, so he's getting him from the, like, you know, below his center of gravity. Good move. Pushing and jumping as he's pushing into him. Gets the guy out of the off the ground completely. Himself off the ground too. And then they are suspended in midair before the man falls. Like, he makes this man fall onto his back on the concrete. Look at that hit. Look at that hit. Mr. Humvee saying the video is so bad I can't see anything on stream. Really, you can't see the slow-mo playback? That's unfortunate. Can you see it, Mr. Greg?
It's buffering for me, but it, like the quality is like what I would expect. It's not horrible, but it's not great.
It's not even good on my end, just because the video itself is like not even quality. So, or hold on, like why is it very low? Hold on, we can. No, even when I turn up the quality of the video, it's like, let me try turn it. Yeah, even on HD, it's just, it doesn't look good. I mean, that's the best it's gonna look. But anyway, it is like kind of blurry in general. Just that's how it is. But overall, that was a crazy takedown. Don't you agree? Skilled.
That's what I would have done if I had to take down someone for valid reasons.
Well, so the whole, I don't even know the whole story, but I guess this guy showed up to the riots. I don't know exactly. I don't know the context, you know, like maybe this guy thought, oh, well, I'm going to join the protesters and be righteous with them in standing against these MAGA Republicans wanting to take them out of the country. And then he sees like the Mexican throwing a bottle at some guy and he's like, oh, dear Lord, I need to subdue this creature. And then he just like jumps into, he just jumps into him, takes him down.
You think he made that noise when he did it?
I mean, he had to. I mean, he had to make like a Freddy Fazbear noise or Foxy or whatever. So the Oracle says, LMAO, these riots are goofy, makes the issue worse and pisses off the common people to the point they will pick the opposing side. Why are people so intent on waking up the masses who are fence sitting? Very good point, because honestly, if you're just saying like, I mean, okay, you know, there are still going to be people against you when you're saying you shouldn't be deporting these people or whatever, like the ICE is taking them and everything. ICE is taking them. What am I, foreign? ICE is taking them. ICE itself and so, what am I, Turkish? Yeah, what am I, Turkish? But so ICE is taking them away. Not a bag of ice. That's why I need to clarify. The organization ICE is taking them, and you know, in these, before these rioting times, there were people yelling at them saying, you know, you stop doing that, and you know, all that. Even though in some of the video cases I was seeing, and actually most of them, I mean, like I was seeing instances where like these people were getting arrested over something else, and because then they were found to be illegal, that's why they were getting like sent away and stuff. Because like, for example, it's in like New York City, where it's a sanctuary city. They're not legally able, like, I mean, at least on the local law level, like city law, whatever, they're not supposed to be going over them or after them simply for immigration status. So there's a reason other than that they're doing it for. And then these people are trying to attribute that only to the immigration status aspect of it to upplay the, I guess, severity of what's happening. And so, you know, you have people that are very much trying to, like, I mean, either way, but like, especially now you're seeing it from this side where they're trying to get people to see like this is like literally the worst thing to ever happen since World War II. And so they're saying like, over here, ICE is the N word, which I mean,
Whoa.
the one that Kanye has made a song about. But anyway, so the whole point here being that, especially now with these riots, the Oracle's right that they're turning even more people sort of like, I guess the people that would have realized that that was a scam to begin with, as far as trying to sell them this lie, would have been against them already. There would probably have been people that fell for it, but even the people that fell for that probably would still be against this, most likely, unless they're literally just the fervent people that are on these streets causing this chaos. And not only that, but by default, because of where they're doing it and what they're taking and how they're destroying things. I mean, like literally just taking shit and destroying property is just, I mean, it's affecting normal people, but also just people having to drive through this, people being at risk of like assuming some of this damage that's going on is already going to turn the people that are there against you. And then the people that are seeing that are thinking, well, what if this is happening where I live? Or what if it were to happen where I live, I should say. And so they think about that and they're like, well, yeah, no, I'd rather live in a place where this isn't happening. So I'd support, they're going to say I'd support, the cops or ICE or whoever, the military, because even Trump's sending them out now. But that'll be explained in a minute here. But basically, all these people, they'll probably be like, I'm going to support these people against the rioters because I don't want this happening where I live. I don't want my city going up in flames. I mean, it's as if people forget already what happened in 2020 after George Floyd was, that whole incident. And so
You couldn't breathe.
It's as if people are thinking they can just trick people again into believing these are peaceful protesters, largely in part, but people didn't even believe the lie then. And more people are realizing this is a lie now.
But he couldn't breathe.
Well, neither can Diabito because he's eating too much vegetable oil cooked nachos.
Yeah, they really got to change that to lard or something, dude.
They got to change it back to lard. That's what they were using before when they weren't this big.
No, Diabito.
No, Diabito. Roll back to kitchen. So yeah, basically, I just don't really see the point in doing this aside from like if you're perhaps you have some sort of political angle in instigating this, whether that be because you want to sort of stoke the flames, whatever. Because even with the BLM stuff, there was this whole incident of like pallets of bricks just showing up. It's like, where were these things coming from, right? So now, there's still people in masks here and doing shit and like all that. And I'm sure there's instances where there's more people than necessarily like would be there otherwise had there not been some sort of outside instigator. That's not to say that these people don't have this capability of doing these things, because even with the pallets of bricks, the people who are throwing them are the ones throwing them, and they're the rioters that were originally there. They're just given that resource in that instance, let's say. Or like there's people there that try to get them to do more. Maybe some sort of bad actors there that, already people, again, like the ones that are doing it anyway are bad actors. But I'm just saying, like, people that are trying to incite it further. It could be, I don't know. If I were just guessing, some sort of higher up operation. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Well, that's quite the guess. Why would they do that?
I'm just saying it's been in the past something that isn't out of the ordinary. It happens. And a lot of these incidents they like to make go away after they happen too, because there's often involvement in them. I'm just saying. And I'm not going to say what incidents, because then, YouTube might say something about that, but I'm just saying. But anyway, whole point is, even despite that, forget about that for a second. Just this in general, the Oracle's right here. Nobody's really going to support this that's in their right mind. It doesn't matter if the police are being more brutal than people would even normally support. It's just the fact that they've been turned against these people is going to make them support it regardless. So, I mean, it's you make it harder for yourself. So let's assume it's just these people that have this political goal. They're actually subverting their interest. But also, really, I don't even think it's that deep in the sense of the people that are rioting like first, like the people here that are waving the Mexican flags or looting stores. Like, obviously, they think it looks cool to do that. They think it feels cool. They probably get adrenaline rush doing it. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you would kind of necessarily have to unless you were broken, but they get an adrenaline rush from it. They get free stuff. They get my gives me if they go get a Corona pack or if they go get a TV. And so, obviously, whenever there's an opportunity like this, they seize it to destroy stuff and take shit. And it's just kind of what they do. So it's not even 100% about their political goals. Obviously, there are other people that could be at play that have the political goals in mind of just causing more division, causing a sense of, I guess, uneasiness for people, keeping them in a state of fear. But just the rioters specifically are just a bunch of dumb fucks that feel like they're playing GTA.
I'm just saying, like, if she's eating curry all the time, now that's a scent that's not going to go away. I can't have that.
We're back on Sanjana
Bro, like,
or whatever.
imagine, like, usually the stereotype is it smells like seafood, but I mean, do you want to have that smelling like curry? I can't do that. I think I would actually vomit.
You mean the puh?
Yes, I do.
The puh would smell like seafood and curry.
Yes, I do. I think it would smell like that.
Okay, but you're saying that smell doesn't go away if you stop eating it after
I'm
enough
saying
time?
that she probably isn't going to stop eating it. I mean, you'd have to like tell her, "Hey, this isn't good for you." I don't know why I said it like that. Hey, you should stop eating that. But yeah, like you'd have to like.
Well, I would just think that her looking the way she does would maybe make her a little bit more inclined to stop eating it if convinced. I don't know.
I think it's like it's too ingrained in the culture for her to just not be eating that all the time.
I suppose. I mean, maybe you can just stop using the spices. I don't know. There's got to be something.
I mean, I'm not saying like it won't go away if she changes her diet and all that, but like I'm just saying, given the context of what we're talking about, I can't assume that she's not eating that all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm saying basically, there's got to be some way to offset the quantity of that eaten or the ingredients in it, like with some other, I guess, like dish that could be good enough to suffice. I don't know.
Vegan. What about that? Would you do that then? See,
well, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem.
Common over there.
See, that's a deal breaker, man.
It's not even.
Yeah, it is.
Vegan.
It is
even vegetarian. That's like a line too far.
But that includes milk and cheese.
It does, but it's still pretty gay.
Do pescatarians eat dairy? Or is there like a separation? Or is that like, is there a requirement in there that they don't eat dairy?
That's kind of not here or there for that culture, but I'm not actually sure.
They don't even see fish as like the same, right?
Yeah, I don't think they care about fish. Like, I mean, if they're vegetarian, they probably don't eat fish, is what I'm saying. Like, they're not going to make that distinction.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So the Oracle's saying I would much rather have this whatever self-cuckery shit is going on in the British government. They have pretty much turned themselves into a doormat.
I disagree with that heavily.
What are we? How did we get back to that too?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, how did we get back to the British government? Like, where's the Oracle like coming back on this? You were talking about Sajima or whatever the hell. He's talking about the British government. How do we get back to the Brits and the Indians?
Sanjana, first of all. I mean, have a little respect. But anyway.
Sanjana, whatever. I don't even know her name.
He's saying that he'd rather have the bullshit that the British are going through rather than the riots or whatever we have. He sent this message before I was talking about that.
Oh. Yeah, I see. I was trying to figure out what he was referencing there. I see. But anyway, Like I was trying to see the connection there between. Hold on, dude. My chat is like looking weird. I have to refresh it. Hold on.
Your chat's looking icy because it's frozen.
Wait, so I mean, like, as opposed to like the police response or what? So like there is no like rioting in the first place. Like literally just accept everybody.
I think you meant like the rioting in general. Like it's a problem as opposed to like. Oh, I mean they have riots over there though too. So I mean, but not about this. I guess I don't know. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like he's saying accept them all and keep them here just so that they don't do this, and then just like kind of live with that. I don't know. I'm just making an assumption based on what I'm understanding the comparison to be.
We need more context to really extrapolate from that.
Are you getting quiet again? Let's
we would need more context to really extrapolate from that
with much volume. Yeah, you need volume for this comment. I will force Greg to date Indian women. Wow. Okay, so not even just Sanjana or whatever. I forget her name again. Sanjana. Anyway, you know. I got it the second time. Now you're not even saying Sanjana. Now you're saying like maybe that other Sanjana we saw that was like literally a troll person. And so you're saying like as if like Indian women as a group are something that you're going to get lucky with in most ways to be able to make this statement, that he's going to see the error of his ways if he dates multiple. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. Like, I'm just saying Sanjana was like an exception, bro.
I can't have that smell, dude.
He says he will love her curry and he will love copious amounts of spices. I don't know about that. I don't know if you'll get that man to like copious amounts of spices.
I can't even really see a reason to justify buying that many spices in general outside of salt and maybe like pepper.
Be louder.
I can't see a reason to justify paying for those spices anyway, except maybe salt and like the sweeter spices like nutmeg and what's the other one? The Christmas spice. Cloves. That's good. But outside of that, not really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't eat copious amount of spices, even if I sometimes season, mostly salt, and cheese and honey, like, it's stuff like that. Or maybe, nutmeg, cinnamon, but I'm not using a lot of, I'm not using too much of the garlic. Like I use some, but it's very light if I do. And it depends on what I'm using it in. But even last night I ate oysters. Like what I used in the oysters is I used salt, I used lemon juice, and I used Frank's Red Hot. And I know Frank's Red Hot has a little bit of like seasoning in it, but Frank's Red Hot's mostly okay. So, I mean, there's no oil or nothing in that. So I was like, I want something with my oysters that tastes good. So there we go. That's what I put, but I'm not going to put, actually I do put it like a little chili powder too. Chili pea. You feel me, dog?
Bro. I think the only time I use garlic anymore is when I'm making soup. I don't think I could eat it in any other context anymore. Obviously, if I go out to a restaurant and I get like a dish, it's gonna have it. Then I mean, I'm not gonna go out of the way and say, "Hey, don't take it out." Like it's not the end of the world. But cooking wise, I don't think I'm ever gonna use it again outside of like a soup.
Yeah, see, I'm not using it for things like beef, really. Beef is like I'm just eating the beef and cheese and milk. Garlic is like if I eat oysters. I mean, even if I eat eggs, I'm not going to put garlic in the eggs. It's like I'm not a garlic fiend these days. I've tried it. It's not like the worst thing. You put a bunch of seasoning in your eggs. It's like an omelet.
If it's an omelet, I'm putting like things that are like chunky things in the omelet, like mushrooms or like green peppers or something. Like I've never thought of putting.
Well, it's like for the egg mix, you like mix it in and then it changes the flavor.
I've never heard of anybody doing that.
Well, maybe I'm just built different, but I don't do it anymore. So there you go. So I was built different.
I'm not okay no more.
Let's see. So Humvee saying, so you're saying I force you to eat nothing but vanilla.
I mean, I like vanilla.
Would it change your smell?
I don't know if it would, because I think the reason why it has such an effect on you is because of the sulfites, no?
Yeah. I don't think like you would get a positive change in your smell unless you're changing your microbiome, and that's not really something you get necessarily from vanilla.
Well, if you drink enough alcohol, you'll smell like alcohol, which quite honestly, is a very pleasant scent to my nose. It smells clean, unlike garlic.
I found a Reddit post of somebody saying, I want to smell like pure.
You think you could probably like rub vanilla extract on like your arms and shit, and use it as like a perfume and get the same effects without all the other bullshit they put in perfume.
Well, somebody's saying it changes on the skin, plus it fades super fast and can get sticky.
I could see that. That makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, it's like alcohol again, so it's not really helping. And also, you're going to stain your clothes as soon as you try spraying it. Let's see. So the Oracle clarified his statement. He said, no, I was saying I prefer our problems instead of the UK.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Yeah, it's just because of how you phrased it here. You were like, I would rather have this, whatever self-cuckery shit is going on in the British government.
Yeah, you're missing like
you kind of misphrased. I know what you were trying to say.
Yeah. If that's the case, then I agree.
No,
I'd much prefer this.
But he was saying,
it's happening in Britain.
Yeah, I would not want to live in the UK. I think our problems are much more manageable than theirs, since they have let their problems almost overwhelm them entirely. Very true. The West has fallen. Billions must fly. It's the only option.
Well, they can't even fly anymore. They're going to crash into Ahmedabad.
Let's see. I use spices on everything. Paprika is great, chili powder, and etc.
What are you, Hungarian or something?
And etc. You just say etc. There's no and etc.
You could say and etc. It's redundant.
Can you?
Can't. Well, etc. is like and whatever etc. is, but so you're saying and technically.
And etc.
Yeah, basically. I just got to figure out what etc. means again.
Just like et al. Or whatever, et al. I don't know how you say that. But in like studies where they put et.
Yeah, that's like for I would assume it's et al. Or whatever. I mean, I might be putting a Spanish twist on it, but it would be a Latin pronunciation.
Bro.
Et cetera means and the rest. So you're saying and the rest.
You got to eat your mic. Let's see. What's y'all opinions on incense?
And the rest.
What y'all opinions on incenses?
I misread that when I first saw that.
What y'all opinions on incenses? I'm going to have to criticize the rapper coming out of you right now, the Oracle.
What even is incense? It's like smelling shit. I know that much.
Isn't it like made of like alcohol too?
I mean, I like alcohol.
Well, I'm just saying you like burn those sticks, and aren't those sticks like dipped in like an alcohol like based scent?
Okay.
I mean, so is perfume. Perfume's alcohol based too, and it still has the artificial fragrances in it. I mean, incense is that as well.
A gum, spice, or other substance that is burned for the sweet smell it produces.
Yeah.
That's probably not great for you, like respiratorily, long term.
Yeah. Is there like any... I don't know, man. You shouldn't even really be inhaling smoke like that.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe if it was like some sort of mist.
It's probably not the worst thing in the world, but I mean, I can't see.
Oh, you know what? I mean, I literally just thought of it again because I mean, this is something you can just do. You put cinnamon sticks like in cherries and stuff in like boiling water, and that makes your house smell like that, vanilla, all that, you know, whatever you want. And then like you boil that. I forgot the recipe, but you put that together, like all those spices, cloves, whatever, and then like it makes your house smell good. So, I mean, you know, he says, I don't know how they made. I don't know how they is made. I don't know how they made. They just smell good though. But yeah, you can make your house smell good without like the harmful chemicals that are used in a lot of things today. Cause you know, people are oblivious to the effects of that. And these companies realize that. And so they're like, well, it doesn't matter what we're selling them as long as they don't think it's bad for them.
I think you can get away with that just like by cooking the right stuff. Because then it's going to linger in your house depending on how big the house is and where the kitchen is.
I mean, it's said his basketball side is showing
to do that. like make a whole.
You
Like,
could probably also do like
good.
a more natural candle.
Yeah, that could work too.
That too. I mean, things like that, man. Like, there's got to be ways to. I mean, there are ways, but I mean, I'm just saying, it's like that. I don't think they're that inaccessible. Like methods of making your house smell yummy without having to, like, you know, just avoid the, or I guess, like, you know, being able to avoid the poison without having to inhale it like anything toxic.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
it's literally just the smell. Though.
whatever
Like
it is.
outside of that, it looks all right, I guess.
Oh, Sanjana.
Yeah.
You're still thinking about Sanjana, dude? I'm trying to watch this this riot footage.
That's what's hard.
Whoa! Stop!
You can hear it, right? Or no?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. Who just hit who? I need to see that again.
Whoa! Stop! Jesus, you just hit me!
Hit her with what? What are they firing? I don't even know. I can't tell. Is it like, are they, I don't know, man, but is she,
You just hit me!
he's like complaining to them, and I get it. Like, if they hit you with something, they're not doing what they need to avoid that too, but I don't think either side's really avoiding causing you damage. You know, neither the police completely or these people. It probably, I don't know. hungry hippo ass niggas. That's funny. That's a good roast. That's a good roast for people that are just stealing stuff. My speech mannerisms come out in text like the curse mark from Naruto. I don't even realize how I type sometimes. And Sir Oracle says, would you all participate in the riots for a podcast special?
I could
I'll
see
do
myself
what
from afar.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna show next, which is what Alex Stein did probably. So I mean, they're doing that at it says departmental store. That's how you know it's Indian writing this. Jesus Christ, that fucking jump dude gets me every time. And here you have the cops on horseback trying to calm down the riot, I suppose. Oh, let's get that again. Hold on, what was that? Let's just see that one more time. I had to see that bounce. He's going at it right there. What great commentary to have at a moment like this.
Right?
Oh, everything was peaceful in the city of Los Angeles and in all of the representatives behind me in their cities as well.
Dude, this lady's face is crazy right here in the back.
Things
insane,
began
man.
to be difficult on Friday when raids took place.
Friday.
And it's important that I begin there because that is the cause of the problems that have happened in the city of Los Angeles and other cities.
Yeah, so the fact that there are people getting deported actually incited all of those people going into 7-Eleven and taking that Corona. Like that was directly caused by it. I mean, if I had lived in the same town in which there were people getting deported in that amount, like my first instinct would actually not even be like, like going online or talking about it or like recording it. No, I'm going to go like straight to my local gas station. I'm going to take all of their Red Bull. I'm just going to pack it all in my backpack and I'm going to run out of there.
And it would be like an automatic response. It's not like you can control that.
No, I have zero control over it, man. Like I would go to the nearest Walmart and like take a flat screen out of there. And, you know, all that can really be said is, well, you don't know. Maybe I was trying to survive. Maybe there was bread in that TV box.
That's true. You don't know what's not in there.
Yeah, you can't tell, man. Or even in the TV. I mean, now you have flat screen, so it's kind of hard to say that the bread was inside of the TV unless I'm like stacking it like a toaster, but it's like a really big toaster. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like TVs are like boxy like they used to be.
Well, because the TV is flatter, that's what they would have to do. They'd have to like start putting the slices in one by one.
Yeah, that's you know, I can't believe Walmart would do that to me. Like they're making my stealing so inefficient. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that she's like, well, you know, all of what we're seeing was incited by that, but it's like destroying other people's properties incited by that, or taking from other people, stealing is incited by that. I mean, you're like, and you're saying like, this is like, you know, there's no differentiation between the people that are actually like the targets of this, I suppose, if that's what you're even, you know, making the case for here, and just like random people seeing this. So anybody that has a negative reaction to this, like, is just as justified to go steal a TV, right? Is that what we're saying here? Let's see. The Oracle over here saying these riots hurt the illegal immigrants more than ICE itself. And due process is only eligible for U.S. citizens when you're in the country and unless you're here legally. And then he says, this just puts more eyes on people who otherwise wouldn't care. And then Humvee says, did you see the girl who was stealing steaks in her bonnet? Wow, I did not. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not even sure the exact phrasing. Maybe Greg knows more than I do in the Constitution. I mean, not like it's my document of importance, but you know, I'm just saying, like, if we're applying U.S. law, I'm pretty sure, like, not even to take a stance on this. I'm just saying, like, as far as like whether they get due process or not, I'm pretty sure the Constitution applies like as human rights. No, like, isn't that how it was intended, or at least how it's stated to be intended?
Like
these are God-given rights.
Well, yes, that's the justification for it.
But for us,
but they don't apply it as if they are human rights. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, unrelated, but
so I don't know. But I'm not saying that the government even follows the intentions of, or like, even if that's, or the, I don't know if I should say intentions, but I'm not even saying the government necessarily follows what people believe the intentions of the Constitution to be, or what it makes itself out to be to people, you know?
Yes.
Like, I'm not even saying the government follows what is directly written in there as, like, you know, as actual authority. Because there's like so many laws that just don't do that.
Yes.
Okay. But anyway, I was just wondering that because it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just how they, I don't know exactly the quote, but I just know that, like, they said, like, these rights are like God-given or whatever. So I just thought, like, hey, you know, I don't know about due process itself, how it's written or how they stated it exactly, because I've heard other ways of them stating like who these rights apply to. You know, obviously, even at the time, like, I mean, that wasn't including people like of you know, a certain tint. So, I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Oracle says, you'll see how much someone can hate when you destroy their livelihood or impact it. True. Very true. And he says, apparently it does because it uses the term person instead of citizen. Spoke outside my realm. My bad. Fair enough. I mean, and again, we can say that is what is written, not what the U.S. government is necessarily practicing, and not even necessarily what the laws that are written after the fact are, because again, they can just be, I mean, they just are. And there are even laws that are contradictory as like between themselves, and it just kind of gets applied selectively. I mean, that's just kind of how the government is.
This was this was provoked by the White House.
Man, the government was sending x-rays into my head telling me I gotta steal this bread.
That's how it happened.
The reason why, we don't know.
They be sending the microwaves, man. They tell me you gotta have that TV. You gotta have that Blu-ray set. Protests were also witnessed in Chicago against Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Also, like, I mean, if we're just talking about like normal American stances here, right? And also, Humvee said he posted a link, but unless you sent it to me, like, because it's hard to like have links show up in YouTube chat. It just doesn't really happen. It gets flagged. But and I think it's especially for like the live chats, but it's like a whole spam thing. And the Oracle doesn't see it either. But what I was gonna say is I actually got thrown off a bit there. What was I saying 2 seconds ago about like oh yeah, so immigration policy. Like this whole thing about like people reacting the way they are to it now, it's very different than it would have been as far as people's stances. And this is just for things in general, but I think this is a time to say it again. Like if we're talking about like the whole like gender politics stuff or like, you know, whatever, like, you know, however it is, whatever these policies are, abortion, it's very much so become that, you know, people are saying, oh, well, the far right, but the far right is really just like where people were at, like for the most part, like gravitating toward like in the past couple decades until now. And I mean, at least now we can say like within the past decade, things have shifted a lot or they have been at this like a closer point to this than they were prior to the last decade. But I'm just saying that you weren't going to see people reacting like this over immigration policy as a thing. Right. I mean, you know, so it's interesting that we've gotten to a point where it's like, you have a mayor in Los Angeles saying, well, it's actually the fault of these immigration policies. And you have people on the street saying like these immigration policies are literally 1942. Like, you know, it's that all over again. And so basically like the 1940s. And so it's just strange, man, to see. Like you wouldn't have thought that these would be the positions that a major political faction would have when you were younger, you know, that this is literally what they would say is like, should be normal. And I mean, even on top of that, I mean, obviously, you know, what's going on in Europe, it's become very normalized there, but even like here, it still hasn't become as normalized as it has there, but it's become more normalized. And so, you know, it just, I don't know, man, like, I don't know how you convince people. First of all, you don't convince them by rioting, but I don't know how you convince people literally that like, we just need to completely change your homeland. We just need that's the statement. We need to completely change your homeland with a bunch of different people that aren't of your same culture or same background or like same origin. Like they have nothing to do with you, your family, your community, but like, we want them to all live here. And it's, I mean, you know, obviously people got sold this in America too, because, you know, it's the melting pot. It's where Ellis Island was a thing. And like, you know, all this, like, you know, where there was just open immigration for a period of time and like all this and that. So obviously there's like, they try to pull like historical precedent for this being the case, but I don't even see how, I guess you could like not just make the connection that like, yeah, what you're trying to tell me to do is literally just like completely erode the culture that I have in this country. Because I mean, it's like, you know, the whole idea there being is that these people, especially now, because before people were more inclined to learn English when they came here. Now it's like, well, you know, what's the point? They're going to keep speaking whatever language they came in with. They're going to speak little to no English, not even really make much of an attempt. Not really learn the customs, keep practicing exactly what they were before. And so now you've kind of like eliminated the aspect where it's like, oh yeah, well, they're going to become like functioning members of society just like you or me, because now they're not going to act like you or me. And so, I mean, that already kind of kills that selling point. But then on top of that, you know, they want to make it out like, you know, I guess they try to plot or what?
The melting pot argument doesn't even work because the implication of a melting pot is you have a bunch of things melting into the host culture, but they're not doing that anymore. They haven't been doing that for quite some time. So even if you use that argument, it's not a valid one.
Yeah, I'm saying, but that's what people were being sold on before. And, you know, and then it's like, okay, well, they're functioning members of society. They pay taxes. They do this, they do that. You know, they like, this is how we're going to sell people on getting people. And, you know, paying the taxes is so much more important than, I guess, having the same cultural practices as you that you can live with, because it's you guys are very relatable to each other. No, it's important that they pay their taxes. And so I guess what I'm getting at here is that like all the arguments for it are just increasingly becoming a desperate, like, you're racist if you don't agree. I mean, obviously that's where we've been at for a while now as far as understanding this, but they're kind of running out of arguments on the end of like, this is a good thing. It's literally just coming to the point where it's like, you have to live with this or else.
I mean, the other thing is whether or not it's controlled or not, which we'll not speculate on that. The idea of having these riots is within itself a threat to, you're going to accept this kind of narrative or this kind of policy, or these are the consequences. So, I mean, it's not even like,
I mean, it's become, it's went from your benefit to, or I guess more like having these people here is in your benefit because of what they provide, to having these people here is in your benefit because otherwise we will take from you.
Yeah, it's like essentially, this is what's happening. You're going to like it or else, basically. So, I mean, it's like, and you know, it's regardless of who's behind it, it's not like voting is going to get rid of that anymore. So it's not even like you have that option if it was even a valid option to begin with.
Yeah, if voting was a valid valid option. I said ballot option, but I mean, you know, but anyway, valid option. Regardless, they're bringing in people who aren't going to be in line with your ideas anyway. And so, I mean, if voting really did matter, you're going to get outnumbered by people that don't even stand for what you stand for. Have their own, like, you know, I guess, set of interests in mind that are more in line with where they come from. And that's not going to align with yours.
Correct.
Because like, I know even like, I mean, I don't really think it like, I don't really think it makes that much of a difference, but they were letting people who weren't even citizens vote. And I don't know if it was New York or where, but I heard about that. And like, I think they did it in like a local election or something. But I mean, clearly that's going to like, they're doing that because they want to make it seem as if they should have the same amount of influence in all aspects of society. Because they already hold voting to be so sacred.
Right.
It's already like a mental tactic, right? Like it doesn't even have to have any sort of differential outcome in how, like, you know, how they voted. It's just literally now it's like trying to psychologically get you to believe that you have no control over, I guess, like, or I guess no say compared to any other person from around the world in how you live your life, how your society looks like, how your culture is, like what your community looks like.
Yes.
Mr. Oracle says toss salad, not melting pot. Whoa.
Interesting choice of words there.
He said the UK is throwing out the old salad and replacing it with a new one.
Replacing it like,
let's
a garlic
see
salad, basically.
Somebody's financing it. We're going to find out through.
So Trump has ordered including National Guards and Marines to ensure peace. So basically, Gavin Newsom came out and said, like, this is like unnecessary and illegal. I mean, unnecessary is an opinion. illegal. I mean, if we're just going based off of, I guess like what their standards are for what's legal, then no, it's not illegal. Like, I mean, it's just because the whole precedent is like that they're backing up the cops that are already there. And so they're not actually like the ones controlling the protest. They're just guarding the cops. So I don't really think the legal argument stands in any, you can't really like win in court with that. I don't think.
Somebody's.
Why is that guy wearing a mask? A whole mask, just like this N95, but like it's black mask. Hey man, COVID's still a thing, right? That's what you guys got going here, right?
Somebody's financing it. We're going to find out through Pam Bondi and Department of Justice who they're already on it, financing all this equipment. Very professional. Under the Trump administration, this
Hey, Trump said it, not me.
anarchy
Okay.
will not stand. We will not allow federal agents to be attacked, and we will not allow an American city to be invaded and conquered by a foreign enemy. And that's what they are.
They may be here, folks, but they are foreign. You can tell. I saw them myself, folks. They don't look very national. They don't look very local. They just look loco.
When I was a wee lad, and I
Humby
heard
sent me
somebody
a video.
use the term
I'm just gonna have to
local,
look it up.
I always thought they were saying loco, and I was like, well, that's not very nice. So it can't be that bad.
I used to think terrorist and tourist were like the same thing. I've told you this. So I was like, why would they allow tourists after 9/11? It just doesn't make sense.
That's pretty great. Tourism. Why would you support tourism? What's wrong with you?
Yeah. They blew up the Twin Towers.
Hey.
I'm right here. I'm right here down at Walmart. Come around. Come around.
Why is she saying come around? Well, who is she talking to? I'm at Walmart, come around. What does that even mean? But anyway, so yeah, you can see that this bonnet is packed, dude, because it's not sitting here. I mean, unless, you know, she's trying to make it look, I mean, obviously she would be trying to make it look like her hair, but unless that is her hair and she's going to put the stakes in later. And I'm just kind of assuming, but I mean, that looks really packed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
How did Humvee find this video that has like 3 likes on this? And you know, come on, how'd you find that? It's also called Influence the Podcast. He didn't influence us. I guess he influenced us to watch this video, but Humvee did that actually. So it doesn't make much sense.
Very influenced right now.
I wish I were under some kind of influence. Okay, so Alex Stein, we're going to take a look at what he did. I'm going to have to stop screen sharing here. Because Alex Stein showed up, not to the big stuff, I think, but to people that probably not rioting. I think probably just the protest aspect of it. Yeah, it was protesters, like people on the side of the road, like waving flags and stuff, not going out and destroying stuff. So he came to the legitimately, like, you know, I don't know how peaceful it necessarily is because of what we're going to see, but I'm just saying the people that aren't just taking a bunch of shit. Okay. So as you can see, the sign says big booty Latinas can stay.
Big booty Latinas can stay. Protect big booty Latinas. Well, I'm trying to protect them. I don't want them to get deported.
Look at bro. He thinks he's tough with this outfit, bro. Come on now. Bro thinks he's Shay.
I'm trying to protect them. I don't want them to get deported. I'm on your side.
Say that one more time. If he says that one more
What I
time.
say, big booty Latina. What are you going to do? Big booty Latina.
One more time.
Big booty
Say
Latina.
that one more time.
Big booty.
He keeps saying say that one more time, but he keeps saying it one more time, and then the guy doesn't do shit. He's also way shorter because Alex Stein is tall as hell.
Big
Dude.
booty Latina. Big booty Latina.
He's like, say that one more time. Big booty Latina. Say that one more time. Big booty Latina.
I don't know why you'd have an issue with him saying that. It's a wonderful phrase.
Well, yeah, I guess he might be gay or something, you know. It is Pride Month.
Stay. Let's go to the back right now. Hey, let's go to the back right now. I'll show you how much color I am.
Oh, he's trying to entice him to... He's calling himself a big booty Latina. He's trying to entice him to have gay sex with him.
I'm real scared. I'm real scared. Protect her. I want to protect all big booty Latinas. If she's a 9, she's fine. Protect big.
What is she saying there? She's like, I don't need your protection. Is that what she's trying to say?
Her. I want to protect all big booty Latinas. If she's a 9.
It looks like she's trying to say, I don't need.
She's fine. Protect big booty Latinas.
He's calling me out, but he won't go to the back with me real quick.
I'm not gonna wrestle with 2 twinks and some fat Mexican.
In the back.
There's a taco truck right there, maybe. We want to protect big booty Latinas under all costs. Big booty Latinas. Big booty Latinas are welcome.
Bro, hit the BLM.
Latinas. Big booty Latinas are welcome to stay, not big booty Latinos. His ass, he's got to go. Big booty.
You just had to hit him with that at the end there. He's got to go. Say that one more time. Big booty Latinas.
Big booty Latinas.
Yeah, Alex Stein is great. There was also another gentleman that had that we've talked about before, I believe, that was at one of these events. Mr. Kyle Langford, who is running he's governor or running for governor, right? Like that's the governor race, gubernatorial. He's a red-pilled kind of guy, you know. He wants incels to be able to take the immigrant women if they want to stay. They have to get with the incels. That's what his policy platform is. And so here he is. He's saying keep the women. Their signs say uses for ICE, coffee, not national security, and ICE not cool. But you know, there's some Asian bras that he's not doing the hover hand on. By the way, he's just going for it on the photo he's taking with them, and they're fine with that because he just goes for it. But but there he is. Somebody literally said in the comments, they're like, "You earned it." Made me laugh so hard. Yeah, it's pretty funny. No thoughts, Mr. Greg?
Personally, I would have a much more strict criteria, but I will not go into that.
Yeah, he just said keep the women. He didn't really specify here keep any kind of woman. He just said keep the women.
That's a little too broad for me.
Yeah. Oh, the comment was dig in, brother. You earned it. Because he's really going for it right there. Oh, I can't do that unless I open the image in a new tab. I would have to share this tab instead. Yeah, because bro is really cupping there. He's copping a feel for sure. You don't give a fuck. All right. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the riots. I don't know, man. It's you would expect at this point, like Trump to, if anything, I guess he can't really just go hard unless he like did the Insurrection Act and just made that a thing. I mean, he is saying they're invaders or whatever. They're foreign. They're not from here. I need to get rid of them. But then he kind of just backs off a bit when it comes to doing much other than that. So I would think that he would do more, no, unless he was kind of like wanting this to continue as well, just for political reasons.
Sorry, I was focusing on that coconut water you're drinking.
Because it. Oh, yeah, the coconut water. I had a workout today, and I usually drink whole things on a day that I work out.
Yeah, I wish I had more to eat before this, because it's not lasting me as long as I thought it would.
I've had this today, plus like some additional whole milk like poured into it. So I kind of balanced it out to make 1% milk myself.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, I would think that Trump would want to, you know, if he were serious about wanting to put a stop to this, he would, if anything, do something like that where he, you know, actually tries to do whatever to go full force. But kind of the same thing like with the riots, where he had that option too and didn't really go for it at any point. It's almost like there was a political interest. I'm not necessarily saying like, oh, he specifically had this, but I'm just saying in general in the political landscape, usually the interest of the government and, you know, I guess, you know, all the powers that be, because that includes like media and all that. I mean, they're all part of the same thing, you know. But basically, you know, they have an interest in stoking division again, keeping things kind of chaotic, not keeping people settled. So obviously they want these things to go on for a bit. I mean, so you would think that Trump himself, like, he is like painted or portrayed as this outsider. He has been until now. I mean, obviously it's harder to do that when he's president, but he's portrayed as like not them, you know. And so when you have him in office, it's kind of like you still want to portray him like that to an extent, like to people, but also at the same time, if he's not actually like that, which I mean, he's made it pretty apparent that he's not like that, just because, you know, he won't drop a lot of these files. And Elon even mentioned that, but I don't know how much Elon either would be considered a sort of anti establishment, or, you know, in the sense of like what people usually like to call that. But even that has its own sort of, I guess, difference in what it really is. I mean, because Trump is portrayed as anti-establishment, but that whole anti-establishment is kind of like, I guess, controlled opposition, if anything. If that would be the best way to put it. So I guess like Elon actually being against, actually being opposition, I don't really think I would say I believe. But he did talk about Trump in a certain light recently, and that kind of came and went before we got back on the show, because that was even like last weekend. Elon was saying the reason, because he got mad that Trump was making this big, beautiful bill, which is a big spending bill, tax cuts plus immigration control, so like budgeting needed for that. And so Elon was like, well, we saved all this money with Doge and now you're doing these things, so, you know, this is a problem. And then he left Doge, and then he's like, the reason that they haven't dropped the Epstein files is because Trump is in it. And so, you know, that's a big thing to say, obviously. But again, like, what does it really do? You know, what really changed in him just saying that now, right? Or a week ago, right? What really changed? He apologized anyway, because, you know, obviously him and Trump don't want to have a bad relationship. But, you know, how much of that was even Elon just coming up with that and saying that? You know, who could have come up with that? Maybe somebody else that wants to continue this sort of this political theater. You said what?
I don't think it's even a big deal to say that, because everybody has that photo of Trump with Epstein anyway. So it's like, I would assume he's in the files anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it was like, if he wasn't even associated with him before that and there was no suspicion, then maybe it's like more significant. But, and even so, then people would be like, oh, there's no evidence of that, Elon. What are you talking about? And either way, it kind of doesn't really hack unless we were to actually have more visible or better, I guess, like proof that was dropped, rather than just a statement made about it, or like, you know, whether that be in the form of like some kind of video of Trump and Epstein, or like some sort of document that shows this. But my whole point here being is like, what did that really accomplish? Not much. So you would think that this kind of could just be more political theater. I mean, it literally was that. It's like another thing in the news cycle that comes and goes and keeps people talking about this stuff. Even like a long time after the whole Epstein thing has gone basically away, because they were like, oh, we're going to drop the files, and then everything's like marked out. And it didn't really fix the issue of understanding, like, you know, how I guess like what's happening. I suppose is what you could say. I mean, we know all these people are involved, but what's happening? How's it happening? We don't have more information on that. We just know that they're not good people. But all the attention gets diverted to Epstein. All the attention gets diverted to whoever's being associated with him, Diddy, whatever, whatever have you, whoever's being associated with Diddy. And so like, it's all just distraction after distraction after distraction. It's like, what are you even supposed to really pay attention to? What are you even really supposed to make of it?
Yeah. It just, like, I saw that stuff on, like, people talking about it on Twitter or whatever. And I was just like, everybody was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And I was just kind of like, okay, I really could not care less about this. This has literally no impact on my views or my day in general at all.
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't change much. Again, like, I mean, in my own life, not even in my own real life, like there's nothing that is different after the fact. But that's the thing. Like, it's a lot of this just over and over where nothing ever happens, but basically people keep getting fed this like big revelation supposedly that ends up just disappearing a few days later, and then the big thing drops, and then that disappears in a few days. And it's literally just to create, again, this like sense of, like, you have to pay attention to it. It's urgent that you care about it. You have to devote all your time into it. You have to feel uneasy. You have to feel like politics is like the way out for you. Like, you have to go vote. You have to go do this and that and that. And it just continues, man. Like, so it never ends. They want you to continue because that's just the propaganda that they push. That's how it works.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna focus on our next topic because we talked about the Trump and Elon, even though that wasn't in the title. I know we just had to cover that because that's been in the news cycle. What was the other thing I was mentioning that I was like, we could mention this, but I haven't looked at? Oh yeah, the iDubbbz thing.
Yeah,
the iDubbbz thing. But I feel like I don't even have much to really talk about unless we see like the whole I guess like claims made about how Anissa stuff, but I just haven't like looked into it too much aside from what I've heard people say. Let's see what I can find. Mr. and Mrs. Joma. Okay, so there's this guy that keeps saying iDubbbz exposed big time, and he has a bunch of episodes about it, but I don't know. I guess we could just watch a video on somebody talking about it, see what we say, what we think. Because it's better than us just having to compile that all right now, unless we talk about it next time. But let's take a look at it, I guess. Unless you're feeling it next time.
I kind of am.
Feeling it next time? You want to do it next time?
Yeah, because you had the other topic, right?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So the Oracle says I do worry about that a lot if I'm focusing on the right stories and wonder if the stories that I do read even are even the legitimate versions of it. I mean, man, biggest things I guess you got to think about are like if there actually is some sort of situation like war, like any sort of conflict, whether it be like sort of like, within the government or within the country, whatever it is, just I guess have some level of preparation or some understanding of what to do in certain situations that could arise, as opposed to just focusing on like, oh my God, like, I don't know, Trump said this about this guy and this guy said this about Trump. It's like, yeah, we could laugh at it. We could sit here and talk about it and it's kind of funny and it's like, we can make jokes, but I mean, just to like worry about it, is kind of, not the right move because you're just going to be worried all the time if you're always worrying about this stuff. Because Greg and I talked about this. We both actually used to watch a lot of like Tim Pool stuff even. And he's similar to like, somebody that's watching the news all the time. I mean, that's what he does. He relays back the news to you, and then he comments on it. So it's not much different. But at the time I thought, hey, I'm watching something that's like alternative, and it's something that, you know, is like giving me the real information. But even so, then you're still being concerned by this stuff. You're still like thinking like the craziest shit could happen and just break out all of a sudden over this like political conflict. Like, I mean, it's possible that certain things can happen, you know, I mean, nothing ever happens, but you know, it's possible certain things can happen, but you just got to be prepared in your own life for, you know, I guess like realistic situations. And I mean, just kind of focus on enjoying your life, building yourself up, doing what you want to do, you know, not being too concerned with what's happening with every global conflict or whatever, because you'll just be stuck on that for a long time. You know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about something funny and stuff. How we're going to talk about how these hoes is crazy. These hoes is nuts. Okay. We're going to talk about that. Imagine having heard me talk about that serious shit for like a while, skipping 10 seconds. And then the next thing you hear me say is these hoes is nuts. But regardless, okay, so I was sent this by Mr. Greg, a favorite account of mine, Mr. Howling Mutant 0. I personally enjoy this man's posts and replies. He's an artist, okay, but he's commenting on a Sophie Rain tweet over here. And his tweet is, everybody a sex worker until a real stone cold freak pulls up. Because apparently Sophie Rain says Bonnie Blue, which Bonnie Blue is, you know, another online thought who
British
gets absolutely demolished by hordes of males. Yes, a British. That gets absolutely demolished by hordes of males. And so Sophie Rain, who claims to be a virgin, first of all, which is like the biggest cap since fucking Sexy Red said, my pussy pink. Okay. And so Sophie Rain over here, who doesn't get the D on camera and just posts herself naked and has all this revenue coming in. Okay. She is over here criticizing Bonnie Blue, who gets, you know, just a train ran on her. Okay. I mean, if you haven't heard about this, I mean, we're talking, she's the one that did 1,000, right? I mean, I know Lily Phillips did an insane amount too, but Bonnie Blue did 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Lily Phillips did 100. I don't know if Lily Phillips ended up doing 1,000 as well, but Bonnie Blue basically did the 1,000 before Lily Phillips, from what I know.
I think that Phillips was planning on doing 1,000, and then like 2 weeks after she announced she was planning on doing it, Bonnie Blue just did it.
And isn't Phillips planning on doing a new thing now, where she's like just opening herself up to the public or something like that?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know. I saw the Turkish woman post that in a separate chat, you know, like she had sent that to us and we were like, who is this about?
Sorry, one more time.
Our Turk, not the Turk, but the other Turk had posted some, like, I think it was her that had posted some like quote or something from Phillips, who was saying like, I'm just going to get like, you know, like used like all day, like, you know, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities to join. Like she's going to, like, I forgot what it was. She said something about like being stuck in a box or something.
Eat her.
Okay. But anyway, the point being is that they're still trying to one up each other. And, you know, Lily Phillips is trying to do the most ridiculous stuff. She says she wants to get fucked in space, whatever. And so, and off like like when she's like parachuting and stuff, she wants that kind of like, you know, she wants to keep freaking out, you know, so that freak out, you know, so like out freak the Diddy parties so that she can get attention and money.
That's not a good calling card.
Anyway, so Sophie Rain, who is the supposed virgin, but also an OnlyFans hoe, says Bonnie Blue is ruining OnlyFans for everyone. It's no longer about women empowerment. And then Sophie she quote tweets this from somebody and says, I hope one day she realizes, and this is Bonnie Blue, like she's talking about her, how the trauma she's causing herself and so many women. This is it's such a ridiculous statement that it has to be for clout, man. It has to be for clout. This can't be like her just thinking, yeah, let me just talk about this for real. You know, she's trying to get attention. But also at the same time, it's like, this is just, I mean, obviously we're talking about it because of how ridiculous it is, but it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, it has to be planned out to be like, you know, something that stupid. But I mean, also she believes what she is doing is somehow different. But I don't even know if she legit believes that. Like, just like she says, like, oh, I'm a virgin. She's trying to get money from that. You know, it's not because she's like wanting to talk about like the virtue of it. It's because she wants guys to like have this fantasy about being the first one to be with her, you know? And so it's like the same thing where she's trying to point out Bonnie Blue. It's like, oh, this terrible behavior. She's trying to go in line with what these guys are saying about her so that they'll subscribe to her.
I was actually going to ask, do you think that this is purely for attention, or do you actually think she sees her as some form of competition?
Well, I mean, like to see her as competition. Well, even so, like she's probably saying what she says regardless because she sees her as competition. Like she probably feels, if she does feel that sentiment to any extent, it's because of that. It's not because she's like probably actually disgusted with what Bonnie Blue's doing, because look at what she's doing.
No, yeah, I understand that point. I'm asking basically, do you think it's solely for attention and she doesn't actually give a shit if they're like Bonnie Blue's doing what she's doing? Or do you think she does see some kind of threat in her taking things to the extreme? So it's a form of like warfare, for lack of a better term?
I mean, I don't know that these are completely like, these aren't like mutually exclusive. Like I was thinking about that second angle of it. Now, what I would say is that I definitely think the fact that Bonnie Blue is getting more attention gets to her. But at the same time, I think, yeah, like she sees it as, not only is it like hurting her ego, but like the fact that her competition is somebody who is doing these extreme things and getting all this attention because of that. And she may be dwindling in attention because she kind of got that like fame for a bit where like everybody's talking about her, but they're not anymore. And if those numbers she was talking about making in a month or a year or whatever were actually doctored, like some people were claiming, you know, for exaggeration as well, then she's not actually making as much as she wants to, obviously. And so even so at her peak, you know, she wasn't even making as much as she was claiming. So that means now she must be making less, probably, I would think, because guys usually move on to the next one after a while. And so she's thinking like, well, if I'm losing this money and my only way to keep up is to like, and you know, I don't know if she's necessarily like thinking like she's going to go broke or something. I don't know, you know, how urgent it is, because she's obviously probably still getting a lot of followers, just not like as many, but that probably gets to her. But then she's thinking like, but the only way for me to stay relevant and continue doing what I do to the extent that I do it, and knowing that I'm going to have like a secure income like I've had before, is like doing something as attention grabbing as this. And obviously like part of that can be making this statement, but at the same time, she's kind of, maybe she's thinking, if she can really think this far ahead, or maybe psychologically there's just an implicit like understanding, but she doesn't know how to like, you know, verbalize it, but thinking like, unless I can maintain a presence like this, which she can from a post like this, you know, this will obviously get attention, but unless she can like do something outrageous or say something that's attention grabbing, there's no way she's going to be able to keep up with what Bonnie Blue's doing when Bonnie Blue keeps doing the most outrageous shit. So yeah, I would say like psychologically speaking, there is an aspect of, you know, she does want attention, but at the same time, she does see her as a threat, but it's probably, it's hard to say which one's more, because it's like, I guess just the seeing her as a threat adds more urgency to it. And therefore that's like what's more important to her, even if like she doesn't understand that. But like, obviously all the women involved in this do want attention. So that's always going to be a factor pretty much. I just think there's like so much of like a tie between like when people get famous, like they see the attention as important to their income, but they also see the attention as important to their like self-esteem. You can't really separate it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to see whores fighting over each other, or not fighting over each other, fighting each other over losers paying them money. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
Bonnie Blue's not even.
That's their grind. That's their hustle.
It seems like with the Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips thing, it's not even about the money. It's more about like the pure attention. Like they're obviously getting paid for it, but it seems more just the shock value and being in the limelight more than it is with these OnlyFans broads. Because I mean, you don't even really hear that many crazy stories coming from strictly OnlyFans girls as much as you hear from like the two Brits that are just breaking records for the sake of breaking records.
You know, that aspect is fair because once they get to a certain level of like financial stability, they don't really think about how they can get more, because it's not really that about like, it's about the security to them. It's not about like, there's not as much self-esteem in the actual earning of the money, you know? So there's definitely more in the attention that they're getting than it is like the money they're earning. A guy could be different where he doesn't even need the attention, but he does want to continue developing himself in that regard of earning more. I think the only reason that they would see this as a problem to themselves is if like their security is at risk. So like they're at risk of losing a lot of followers and a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more about the money loss than like earning more. So
you like sports?
Let's see. The Oracle says, I find both of these women so annoying. Why do we even care about their opinions? I don't, but I find it like so ridiculous that it's funny to mock them. As soon as I see their face, it's an immediate disregard. We need an OnlyFans MMA tournament. They're going to turn that into a porn thing though. It's going to be a sexual thing, dude. It's not going to turn out to be like actual fighting unless you get like lesbian content creators.
Yeah, but then do you even want to watch that? Oh, wait, you mean like lesbian?
Well, they're just going to be fighting.
Wait, okay, when you say lesbian, do you mean like porn lesbian or do you mean like actual lesbian?
No, I'm saying, well, I guess they aren't doing that same content, are they?
No.
Okay, so let's just, I mean, that's just women's MMA anyway, too. So, you know.
Yeah,
there's not even a new like market to be made.
Yeah, it's just the same thing at that point.
How about we get the regular MMA fighters to fight the OnlyFans chicks one-on-one?
Like the male or the female ones?
No, the female. Like we get like those female MMA fighters to fight like Bonnie Blue or Sophie Rain or whoever.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, it could be, but then they're going to turn it into like a Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, where it's like, oh, the influencer has to win, you know?
I guess you'd have to have some way of safeguarding it from becoming just a popularity contest, which I don't know if you can do realistically.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? You just need a chill. Look, guys, forget about these bitches. You just need to chill. We gotta worry about music, okay? But the problem is they're also in music too, okay? I don't know if you guys saw this, but Sabrina Carpenter said men are pigs, right? She had this video like that went around. It's like, hey men, and there's like these pigs in front of her, like in the video. It's like supposed to be funny, haha, men are pigs, get it? And so she said that a few days ago, and this Kira Won't Miss account is commenting on it because her new album cover is literally her getting her hair pulled by a guy and like on her knees, putting her hand toward him. Like, come on now. Come on now. You're literally like, and it's not she also like takes her clothes off on stage. I mean, not like completely naked or anything, but obviously she wears like more revealing outfits. So it's like, who is that appealing to? I mean, obviously you're influencing women to act more like that, but who's that really? Like, you know, who are you? Like, I obviously know her market is more women than like Sydney Sweeney, but I'm just saying like sexual appeal is a thing that is a sexual appeal for a reason, because sexual appeal has to do with the opposite sex finding you appealing. Okay. So I don't know exactly, you know, what your goal would be otherwise, but I mean, oh my God, I'm so empowered. It's not for them. It's for me. But, you know, you defeated your whole purpose in saying, oh, well, men are all garbage and stuff. I mean, to be putting yourself in this situation here on your album cover, come on now. You know what we need? We need less of this. We need more Calvin Harris, because Calvin Harris follows a repeat account. So there you go. He's bioenergy Calvin Harris, not Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter seems very serotonergic. Look at her face. Look at her face. She's a cortisoid, and she's saying something so serotonergic that I have to hit her with that bioenergetic stare. Let's see. So there's one last Twitter post that I thought was kind of funny that we're going to talk about here, and we'll get out of here after that so Mr. Greg can go eat his food. So he can go eat because he needs to. He's dying, folks. Not really. I mean, I don't know about in general. I guess to an extent he could be. I don't know. You know, people age.
We're all dying to an extent.
I refuse to believe that for myself.
No,
anyway,
gay.
so
That's tumor shit.
You said hawk tumor?
Goth doomer.
Oh. I said I refuse to believe I'm dying, though.
I know. I said that's some goth doomer shit. I agree. We're not actually dying.
Anyway. Hawk tumor
Nicaragua.
shit. Okay, so this chick right here tells her husband, apparently, this is her TikTok post that was screenshotted and posted on Delusional Takes. And so, wait, hold on. What is this, bro? Oracle's asking, when is the podcast OnlyFans gonna start?
Yeah, I saw that.
Come on, man. Well, there won't be coming on, man.
Joke account.
Fair enough. Well, you know, the passport instance that I have loading up that I announced earlier in the show that maybe the Oracle missed, but you know, there's an audio and a visual aspect to this composition. Okay. What I set as the record label, like the what is it? The field, you know, like where it lets you enter it. What I called it, because you know, I before I would maybe not put anything, but since it's like, you know, we kind of came up with this idea here on the show a while back. I called it the Podcast Evers. What was it? The Podcast Evers Records Ever. It was either that or the Podcast Ever's Music Ever. It was one of those. But anyway, it was pretty good. It was funny. It was probably records. I don't know. I would have to pull it back up. But it was pretty funny that I said it as that. So I will continue to do that if I ever have an idea on the show and then make a song out of that. But I hope you guys enjoy when that drops. It's going to be a good one. It is going to be a good one. Greg has heard the song. He hasn't seen the music video.
This is true.
He needs to see that. It's pretty fire. Okay. But anyway,
to see more.
2 weeks, guys, 2 weeks. But anyway, she says, I told my husband that Oppenheimer doesn't pass the Bechdel test. And he said, well, okay. So first of all, you know what the Bechdel test is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, some lesbian said basically, you know, there has to be a woman in the story that doesn't depend on a man, like as far as her role goes. Like it doesn't have to be like, she has to be like independent of like a relationship to another male character. As far as her relevance in the story goes, I think it's just one woman, right?
That's some desert people shit. I'll say that. I'll just say that.
Let's see. Well, it's two who talk to each other, whose conversation is not about a man. There you go. That's the test.
That's still desert people shit.
I mean, we can take a look at her right here.
Oh man.
This is Bechdel. So it's two women speaking to each other about something other than a man is what the test is. But anyway, so she told her husband that Oppenheimer doesn't pass the Bechdel test, and he said, it's historical. It's based on a true story. Based response. My bad. I forget women were one-dimensional, hysterical set dressings and not real complex people. If it's not relevant to the story, what are they going to talk about other than that? Oh my God, I went shopping the other day. It was so good. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'd love to go shopping.
You're like doing it too early. I was going to let you finish reading the thing, and I was going to just say, yeah, that's what they are.
Fair enough. She says, while being a one-dimensional hysterical simpleton. Her story right here doesn't pass it. The one that she's telling us right now.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Because it's about her husband.
That's true.
So, I mean, well, actually, her and her husband are characters in it. She's talking to her husband, but it's also about her telling her husband because the husband's take is relevant here and her response to his take. Let's see. Those who know, few and far between probably get it, but it's so funny to us. Seegers. Okay. The Oracle says some people will literally complain about anything. Why is the woman so fucking pressed about it? Holy fuck. Yeah.
Because it's true.
And so apparently this is her profile photo. Somebody.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But yeah, that doesn't. I don't know how much of a. That don't look right. Something about that. Buzz Lightyear and drag? Probably.
Lord.
I would never endorse this statement, but I had to drop a like because, yeah. Every single time. Yeah, this is, I don't know how much of yeah, thank you, Mr. Oracle, for saying it. Yeah, so I guess the story really didn't pass the Bechdel test.
Oh, man. Yeah. When is that starting?
Okay. Huh?
When is that starting?
Oh, tomorrow.
Oh, actually?
Fish Tank, season 4. Yeah.
Shit. I gotta hurry up and finish that other show so I can
Dude,
start watching that.
There's a picture like for the promo where there's for the show that Mizzy posted, and it was like Sam holding her up. Like she's like clearly holding onto his arms, but it looks like he's like holding her up by her neck. Also, I saw like some clip of Mizzy like talking to her friend, and she's like, "This is the guy I had a crush on during the show," and it's like a picture of Sam. I don't know if she was trying to like bait the audience, but people seem to think that it was legit. Like she legit liked them.
I mean, have you seen her streams and shit? She's at least playing into it.
Yeah, no, she is, but I'm saying like I wonder like legitimately how much of a thing that is. I mean, I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, my
I could see it.
Reaction was, oh, okay, this makes sense. I didn't really question it.
Yeah. I mean, especially like if you saw the way that she was looking at him during the season. I mean, come on, like at the end when she came back.
I mean, the height difference alone makes me think, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah. And then I also saw somebody in Zerka's comments saying he was going to be in it, but I don't know how true that is.
I don't know if I could see Zerka and like Sam Hyde getting along in the same area. I don't know how well that would work.
I could see it.
It would be complete chaos, but not in like.
I mean,
not like
Sam
the Sam
brought
Hyde
fucking that guy Charleston White, right? That's his name, the comedian.
Yeah, but that's like more on brand, I think.
And then they also like did some stuff with Andy Dick too.
That's crazy, dude.
In between.
I've seen that.
Yeah. They actually in between it was like in between the season, like they were doing some other psych.
That guy's a menace.
Care to elaborate for the viewers?
He just keeps getting into like sexual scandal after sexual scandal, literally every year, literally almost every single year for like the past 30 years, and he just nothing ever happens to him ever.
He was married to a woman.
Yeah.
His wife filed for a restraining order after alleged drunk arguments with their adult son. I didn't even know he was married to a woman.
You gotta watch the Turkey Tom video.
I guess I should. I know he's gotten in a lot of scandals. I'm aware, but I didn't know he was like, you know, I didn't know he had that sort of relationship before it made obvious that he's just you know,
Fairy princess.
yeah. He's not on the fairy princess diet though. He's not on that.
Definitely not.
You know, I saw there's like this Sonic shake where it's called like the Unicorn Dream or something like that. Let's see. It's called like the Unicorn Dream Slush. Yeah. So they had that. I don't know when it just came out, but there was like that guy who does all this like all these videos where he like pours sugar into a cup and he's like, it has this much sugar. And he was like, it has 200 grams of sugar. I think if you look at the ingredients, I think it's 100 on the thing, but still, you know, he's saying this is a significant amount of sugar. He's like, oh, it's a shame that they're giving this out to people. But if you look at it, the only things in it are the sugar. Like, I mean, as far as like the macros, at least I saw. And actually, I think even the ingredients I was reading. Let me like pull it up here. It says a summertime sip, so they probably brought it back because of that. I was taking a look at the macros, and it was like mostly sugar, no protein, and then like 5 grams of fat, but it said saturated fat was 5 grams. So it was like basically fairy princess macros in a shake.
I see. Hold on.
Let me see. Okay, I can view the nutrition information.
Yeah,
I mean, I know like people are gonna be like, oh my god, it's only 430 calories. It's an insane amount. But realistically, is that really that much? Come on. That's like, which people are gonna say, oh my god, I have sugar, but like really? Really? Reject non-essential. Okay, so 100 grams of carbs in this. Total sugars, 101 grams of sugars. Fat, 5 grams. Saturated fat, 5 grams. It has some like sodium, some calcium. I don't know where they got the calcium. Maybe from the little bit of whipped cream. A little bit of, potassium. I can't see the ingredients though.
Yeah, I might get this right now if they're open.
But have you found the ingredients?
No, I even asked ChatGPT
Okay.
and it didn't really give me an actual. Oh, they're closing soon.
Let me look it up on Google. Sorry. It's topped with whipped cream and shimmering sugar crystals. says they put raspberry bursting boba pearls in it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to see the. Oh, I'm gonna show the guy who did the video on it, so we can see him soy out over the sugar. Hold on.
Get it now. It's too fucking late.
What time does Sonic
Very
close?
Angry. That makes me very angry, dude. It's almost 10.
Bro, what time does Sonic close?
10.
Oh, damn. All right, let's check this guy out. Pause. Bro, look at the literal soy jack like thumbnail. You saw that, right?
I did.
Yeah, he's literally soying over this thing.
Unicorn Dream Slushy, and they're also adding this unicorn glitter sugar on top. Now in just the medium, it clocks in at 101 grams of sugar, which is 20 ounces. This is double that. This is a large, or sorry, extra large, at 44 ounces, which clocks in essentially at 202 grams of sugar. And the issue is that a drink like this is targeted towards kids. I don't think any kid should be drinking 202, even 101 grams of sugar. Let's measure that.
Yeah, my thought process is like, is it sugar? If it's real sugar, that's pretty base. But if it's like high fructose corn syrup, come on. But he's saying it's sugar. This guy usually, I think this is the guy who usually like examines like makeups of different drinks. He's usually pretty spot on with what they're actually using. Look, I don't like seed oils, but you're going to have to accept that this much sugar is just the American way, man.
So that's either 51 teaspoons or 59 cubes of sugar in this one drink. Sonic has a new drink called...
Okay, well then he doesn't even make a comment on it. Bro, this drink is going to give you diabetes. Okay. So, Mr. Humvee says, Iran and Israel at war. Yeah, I mentioned that to you last night.
What? What are you talking about? That happened just now.
Well, I was just saying the build-up.
No. Yeah, it happened like at 8.
That major event that Mr. News Guy... No, from yesterday. Hold on. No, because now they're currently striking Iran's capital, Tehran.
Yeah.
But before that, it was Israel is poised to launch operation on Iran. It was literally like he posted it yesterday.
Yeah, but it's happening now.
I know. Well, okay, but I was saying that like it was already known that it was about to take place because it says they're fully ready to launch, or it says they were fully ready to launch operation into Iran. But anyway, now they're striking Tehran. Israel has claimed to have assassinated Iran's entire military leadership in precision strikes. That's from AF Post. Can that be real? Entire military leadership? That's crazy.
The longer you take, the longer it's taking for me to get food.
Dude, I'm trying to read about fucking war now. Won't you let me talk about the current thing? Anyway, yeah, you're right. We'll probably talk about whatever happens next time because we do need to go, man. It's almost been 2.5 hours. You're right. But Mr. Oracle, one of the last things he's saying here, he says, don't go to Sonic. I want to know about that real quick. If you can just tell us as we're wrapping up here, why he shouldn't go to Sonic, just in general, but just explain why you're making this as a statement. I just want to know. But anyway, guys, we saw a guy soy out over sugar right here. I guess Mr. Greg is going to have to just take off for now and not really do too much commenting because his blood sugar is low. He could go for a unicorn slush right now and that would make him feel a lot better. Otherwise, he's probably just gonna have to make something else. But you're telling me a starving nigga like my man right here couldn't just go for a unicorn slush and benefit from it? Bro's soying out over sugar when we could be giving it to the needy. Okay. He didn't even have a comment that I called him the needy. That's how you know it's getting bad over here. I mean, I'm sure he would say I am the needy, but he didn't even say that.
I'm needing some food right now.
He needs food so bad that he can't even think, folks. His brain is actually depleted. He needs glucose, you see, because when the brain doesn't have sufficient glucose, it extracts from the muscle tissue. I'm letting it happen to him as we speak. Anyway, he says Sonic is ass. Too many Texans. Carnival food, but worse. Okay. I don't even know how much I've eaten at Sonic. I think I remember eating at Sonic once. He says, good night, y'all.
Fine. It wasn't like
good night, Mr. Oracle. Good night, Mr. Humvee. Good night, Mr. Moon. Good night, Mr. Star. Good night, Mr. Sonic Guy. Good night, Sonic Dream Slushy Unicorn Slushy Dream whatever thing. Good night, podcast.
Total death. Total unadulterated death.
Good night, Mr. Greg. Good night to the podcast.
What the fuck is this guy doing?
Me?
No. Some mutual acquaintances arguing with me.
But anyway, that was your cue right there. I said good night to the podcast.
Wait, hold on. I didn't finish my statement. He's being very autistic with the way he's going about this argument. Anyway, yeah, the podcast ever.
Podcast ever.